Interesting to see 3 of the Forces teams in the final 4 left in this cup competition. And Airforce kickoff. And the ball is lost forward by Navy, but the referee sensibly playing advantage this time. Nice ball across to the winger. He's been a danger man, the number 11. And that time the referee getting in the way. So the rule is that if the ball touches a referee, it will be a scrum down in favor of the team who was in possession. So Airforce will have this put in. Airforce are playing so quickly that referee Abe couldn't get out of the way there. It is a difficult game to officiate when you've got these players who are really jinxing all over the place. Lovely hands from Airforce. Absolutely lovely hands. We saw this in the quarterfinal game as well. And this has been a hallmark of their performances so far. And going in for that first try is Nuan Pereira. Here's a step back in field. Darshan Adabare has been their danger man in the number 11 jersey. And Nuan Pereira will put the finishing touches on that try.
This Airforce have been one of the better teams this competition. They've shown very good structure and also the endurance to try and pull it off. Shanaka playing in these conditions are never easy. The restart has been pretty good, but this time around, watching it,
it's just a little bit of inexperience there from the Airforce player. Should have just let that ball bounce, not gone up to try and play it. And now Navy will have their first opportunity to run at this Airforce defense, choosing to take them on in midfield, trying to win the physical battle. But referee saying that there was no clear release there, although it looked like the Malgoda had rights to that ball. Ball is out of the ruck and Airforce are first to the ball. Here they are, looking to outrun Navy on the flank. Good presence of mind to leave that ball down before he gets up. Puts it to the boot. Good footballing skills again, and that really needs to be a penalty try, surely.
Yes, referee awarding the penalty try straight away, and that will be a card as well. A brain, you cannot actually call a brain freeze in this hot sun, like a brain fade rather, for the sailor. And double blow for Navy. They concede a try and lose a player.
Well, it's just instinctive, isn't it, at that point? Sudarshan, you know that you're beaten for pace. You've got to do something. And he thought the Airforce player was going to grab on to the bounce of the ball, but he put it to the boot again. So 2 tries now. 1 scored, 1 penalty try. Here's Navy through Adisha Veeratunga. Another penalty for Navy. So refs have been very quick to blow the game up and keep stopping it rather than allowing play to go, even though the team is in possession of the ball. Adisha Veeratunga again. Stepping straight through. Nice run by the Navy player that time. Tackled inside the 22, and now here it is. It's on for Navy through Adisha Veeratunga. Manages to get that ball away. Lovely little wraparound ball. And in the end, Navy will get in under the posts as well. So nice interchange from Navy to get themselves their first score. Musin Falil with that direct running that he's been so familiar for. Unsung hero of this Navy team. And Isuru Kongahavatta, former Isipatana fly half, who's really come on in leaps and bounds this season. He's grown a lot stronger. And despite being one man down, Navy get on the board, which won't please Air Force coach Shamli Nawaz. Here's the replay. Adisha Veeratunga knows that he doesn't have the gas, and that's a lovely little basketball style pass for Kongahavatta to touchdown. It's a bit of a hold up here while the marshal, Sana Vijayaratna, puts the crowd on this near side, just below us in our commentary position. Puts them back over the railings where they're supposed to belong. So you can see the crowd retreating beyond the railings. So supporters of both teams, both traditionally wearing one or the other shade of blue. Here's Air Force, lovely little chip kick through. That grubber was a beautiful one, but the referee coming back for a penalty. It was a beautifully weighted kick, the kind of stuff you'll expect to see later this evening, Sudarshana.
Oh, absolutely.
So watch this here. That was beautiful little nutmeg there. And just couldn't find the hands.
Well, we know a couple of teams that are looking for midfield this Chanaka. I think the Premier League would be proud with that nutmeg. Air Force, they're confident, they're playing confidently, and that's really showing in the field.
Well, what they're able to do is everybody's able to throw a 10-meter pass, and that's something that not a lot of the teams can boast of. Maybe you'll have one or two players who can throw that pass, but Air Force, almost everyone can throw a nice flat long ball. Again,
also Shanika, you spoke about how important adapting to the conditions are, and Racecourse, when it comes to the pitch conditions, is one of the softer grounds in Sri Lanka, and it's one of those grounds that running is difficult if you're not used to. Racecourse, Air Force basically has a very similar facility up in Ratmalana, so that must be helping them as well. And also it's quite windy at that ground, so throwing that 10-meter pass, they would have gotten used to it much better than most of these other teams who are playing here.
Yes, certainly acclimatizing to the conditions, even if it's just something that's completely a coincidence, will help them. You're right, Sudarshan, this is not a fun ground to run on. It's like running on the beach sometimes. And beautifully slipped away that ball. Danushka Dabare now trying to beat his man one-on-one. Slips the ball when he probably should have just taken it into contact. And that looks like it's the half-time whistle. So interesting match on our hands. Just one score between the two teams, Navy and Air Force. After the way Air Force started, we expected them to maybe run away with it, but it's just 12 points to 7. Second half action in the second Cup semi-final here at the Sri Lanka Rugby Cup Club Sevens Championship. Navy trailing by a score against what we have to say is the favorite team at the moment to lift this cup at the end of the tournament, but lots can happen in between now and the final at 5:30 or 5:20.
Well, the interesting change of tactics straight away in this second half. Seems like Coach Nawaz has instructed his charges, if Navy go deep, make sure that you play territorial rugby. Try and play as much as you possibly can in the opposition half.
That's a quick ball to the front of the line out. And Airforce very quick to try and push Navy out into touch. Adisha Veeratunga needs to be very careful because he was trying to prevent the quick throw, but you've got to allow the ball to travel that 5 meters. So you can't interfere with the thrower within that 5 meter line. So he's lucky not to get a penalty there. Nicely stolen though, Adisha Veeratunga bringing his best core skill into play. Going straight over, Musin Falil can't believe it. And poetic justice perhaps as Airforce knock it on.
What's going for Airforce currently is the fact that they are in the correct side of the field. Navy will have to play out of the skin to try and get to the other end because Airforce defense so far has been quite decent.
It has been decent. And Navy will try to run this one out, but good line, good defensive discipline that time by Airforce. Just backing away, not allowing too much of a gap in the midfield. Lovely break that time. Just a half break, so dangerous, but again, Navy losing their feet for the second time in a row. Smashing in is that big man Shashika Fernando. Puts the ball to the boot, but this time the ball might beat everyone into the deadline.
Ravindu Hettiarachchi, Anjula Hettiarachchi. He's been a phenomenal player. Was a member of that Commonwealth Games squad as well. Player of the final at the Mercantile Sevens. He's really risen up those ranks as a sevens player throughout this tournament as well. Especially with those restarts, Shanaka, he puts his height to very good use and get around the park. Good in defense as well, and now slowly adding that kicking skill to his game.
Yes, it's good to see players develop, isn't it? And this is something that Coach Nawaz is known for. He's being able to make good players better and average players good. So Navy choosing to go the distance and put this ball deep into the opposition territory. No real space opening up. Navy's defense has been pretty disciplined, but Sashika Fernando is taking them on up front, and he's taken 4 Navy men into close proximity to bring him down. The ball is everywhere, and again Navy give away a penalty at the breakdown. So this is going to hurt them in the final equation if they have to keep doing so much defending. Airforce a little too keen to take the contact there, but needed to get back on his feet. Had the right idea, did Sudat Bandara, but didn't execute well. And here's Adisha Veeratunga, the Navy 15 skipper, taking matters into his own hands, not rolling away. So here's Navy, their turn to be the recipient of a couple of penalties. Madhuranga stepping back infield is Lahiru Herath. And this is a good passage of play from Navy, their best in the game so far. And as I say that, they cough the ball up. Hettiarachchi with a good little bit of jackling there and manages to stand the defense up. And that's a lovely little offload. Beautiful pass. And that time it's going to be Ishara Madhushan, the captain, who will dot down eventually. But superb work from Hettiarachchi. Coming back. And this was a good run. Knew he didn't have the pace. And that was a lovely weighted ball right in front of the captain Madhushan. He didn't have to break stride at all to catch that ball. And those are the little things that make a difference to whether you score or you get tackled.
Absolutely. Top stuff. And you spoke about Christmas, and for Ishara Madhushan it came very early. There was a gift right in front of his face. 19 points to 7 now. Airforce tightening the screws. 12 points to 7. It was anybody's game. Now Navy need to score twice.
Yes, this will give Airforce a little bit of comfort. Might want to use their bench, get some fresh legs on, because now they know they just need to defend. We might see a kick a little bit deeper into the 22 and not so much a contestable kick. In fact, they do go short to Hettiarachi, and it's come off his hand, and referee will play advantage, but comes back for the scrum. So it'll be a set piece, which means that you've got 6 forwards huddled up together plus the scrum halves, which means there's a lot of space for these players to run into.
But only seconds remaining on our clock, Shanaka, so chances are Air Force will go all the way to the final.
Referee gives a short tap for feet up. It's taken quickly. And referee is very quick to make the call there. Veeratunga had a hand in the only try that Navy have scored. Manages to squeeze the ball through his legs. Good technique from the big flanker. Navy still not letting the ball do the work for them. Kongahawatta with a little kick pass, and this might be interesting, and unfortunate that he can't hold on to it. And offside is the call from the referee. Let's watch that kick pass, but the offside came a little bit before. Yes, Air Force now allowing Navy in for that try, but perhaps it won't matter. It might be too little too late for them. As Stephen Sanzoni touches down. Kongahawatta will attempt the conversion with his left foot. And that looks like it's the end of the game. So Air Force are worthy winners of this second semi-final, and they will book a date with Havelocks to play them in the cup final, the big cup final, which means that the plate will be contested between Navy and Army. Going to be an interesting game there as well.